Hello and welcome to Rajya Sabha Television. You're watching The Big Picture with me, Frank Rausen Pereira. Well, the government on Thursday appointed a committee to recommend measures to augment goods and services tax collections, check evasion and make the new regime simpler for ease of compliance that would eventually help in expanding the tax base. With the approval of the competent authority, it has been decided that a committee of officers be constituted to suggest measures to augment GST revenue, an order issued by the GST Council Secretariat stated. The committee has also been asked to look into systemic changes, including checks and balances to prevent misuse. One of the terms of reference is for the committee to suggest measures to improve voluntary compliance. Its mandate is also to suggest measures to expand the tax base and to improve compliance monitoring and anti-evasion measures using better data analytics. The panel has members from both the centre and the states. GST commissioners of Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal and Punjab are members of the committee. The central government is represented by Principal Commissioner and Joint Secretaries, among others. On this edition of The Big Picture, we will analyse what measures need to be taken to boost collections and improve the GST regime. Joining me on the program today are Abhinav Prakash, Assistant Professor, University of Delhi; Sunil Jain, Managing Editor, The Financial Express; and Sushil Chandra Tripathi, former Principal Secretary, Finance, Uttar Pradesh. Thank you to all my guests for joining me on this edition of The Big Picture. Sunil Jain, let me begin the program with you. Let's first try and understand and figure out and put into perspective, why was there a need to form this committee in the first place to take a review of the GST?
Well, you needed to form the committee. GST tax revenues, GST collection had not been growing anywhere at the kind of speed which is required. And what really happened, what was the last straw on the camel's back, as it were, was the fact that over the last 2 months, the central government has been collecting about 7,000 crores every month as what is called a compensation cess, whereas it has been paying the state governments 14,000 crores out for compensation cess every month. So what's essentially happening is that because of the rule that the central government had guaranteed, cess payments to the states, this kitty will be bankrupt, will be over by December. So by November or December this year, if the GST revenues don't do well and the central government has to pay the states that money, that compensation cess it has will not be enough to pay the money. So actually the states will be in deep trouble. So it is really critical now that the government come up with an immediate fix to GST. So there's a huge problem there. And I think what is going to happen now is that while this committee has been set up, we have a large number of items which are not taxed at all, which is called zero. And there are a large number of items at 5% rate and 12% rate. I think eventually what's going to happen is that the 0% rate items have to come up, they have to pay 5%. The 5% numbers should go up to 12. So everybody has to be paying a certain amount of tax. I think the purpose of the GST, of this committee and the GST Council itself will have to take a call that these lower rates will have to move up. And over a period of time, the 28% will have to come down, the 18% can come down, or maybe the 18 can stay at 18, everything comes to around 18. So eventually that is because there is a huge loss of revenue due to the fact that a large number of items in the country pay a zero rate or a very low rate of tax, of GST.
Okay. Abhinav Prakash, I'd like to bring you into the picture now. As far as these slabs are concerned, Sunil Jain is suggesting that there are too many slabs. Probably need to consolidate and bring it down to maybe only 12 or 18%. Is that going to be the answer to this problem?
Well, I agree to that, because see, one of the major problems which the GST has created is that it has created another complicated system of taxation. GST was supposed to simplify it, but because we want to give 0%, we want to keep 0% tax on certain commodities, then we want to have something 5% and so on. So this thing has complicated a tax structure, and we've seen that how the industries have been arguing that lower the tax on our product, and then you have these social issues, the tax on sanitary napkins should be lowered and all. So I think the government needs to take a call and simplify the tax slabs and simply say, well, let's have only 3 slabs, including the 0% slab. That is going to simplify the GST thing.
So are you saying that we have to have the 0% slab, or should we do away with it?
There should be certain commodities which needs to be taxed at the 0%. Let's say the commodity is basically used by the poorer population, or which is of a daily use thing, very simple thing like salt or something maybe. The other point is that in the entire GST thing, what has happened is that you have classified the goods on the basis of their quality. whether this product is a luxury product, let's say you have some bathroom fittings, whether this comes under luxury, then you have the higher tax, whether it comes under the normal standard product, you have a lower tax. That leads to lots of discrepancies, because it is just impossible for even the tax collector to determine which is a luxury product, which is not a luxury product, based on the made up or the quality of the product. And that is leading to lots of corruption as well, as the feedbacks are coming in. So we need to simplify those things. We need to say, well, we don't want to have so many tax slabs. Let's keep simple tax structure, and let's not keep the tax rate on the basis of the quality of the product, but the price brackets maybe.
Okay. Mr. Tripathi, compliance has been an issue really as far as GST is concerned. Why is that so? I mean, why haven't we been able to broaden the tax net or the tax base?
You see, the more complicated a tax structure is, compliance becomes difficult, and it becomes a disincentive for people to join in the tax effort. I'll give you an example, a simple example. Many years ago in UP, we used to have entertainment tax in cinema halls. You bought ticket, and more than half the price of the ticket was entertainment tax. And lots of leakages used to take place, lots of complaints used to be received from the cinema halls and from people who are going to watch movies, from inspectors, etc., harassment. So we had a simple policy of compounding. Depending on the number of seats a cinema hall had, we said 80% capacity utilization on average basis and average ticket, and we said in a year you pay this much. And every year then you see the collection started going. There was no harassment. There was no problem with inspectors. Cinema hall owners could have dynamic pricing. Instead of black marketing of tickets, they could raise the price of ticket for those things. So a simple formulation, and you have to trust the other side, the other party. You see, the tax administrator and the tax giver, they should have a mutual confidence in each other and a simple procedure. Then both the base increases and the revenue increases. Now, the way we designed GST, because we were new, we had so many states, so many different kinds of levies. So we have designed it in a manner that it does have disincentive for a newcomer into it. Now, I think over a period of time we are simplifying, and I would like to say that this kind of committee should not be a one-time committee. It should be a regular feature. They should constantly look at the systems, look at the procedures, look at the tax collection thing, look at the elasticity of demand, and then try to bring the tax rates not more than 3. In many countries there are only 1 tax rate, which simplifies everything. But here in India, because of our historical reasons and legacy, we cannot have that. So we should have maximum 3 rates, 5, 12 and 18, and then try to compress it into 2 rates.
Right. Abhinav, you want to add something? Yeah.
Well, just want to add to something which Mr. Sunil was talking about. See, the problem which is inherent in the entire structure is that this concept of revenue neutrality, that you are basically saying that we are going to compensate to the states whatever the revenue loss they might have. Now, this creates 2 kind of problem. Once you have a major tax reforms, the revenues cannot be neutral. They are supposed to go down if you want to have a low tax regime. And then when you say you are going to compensate the taxes, the states for the taxes lost, this gives a disincentive to the states to actually improve their tax administration as well. So I think revenue neutrality concept itself is problematic, and it has been pointed out by many people even before the GST was implemented.
Okay, all right. Sunil Jain, this issue of compliance, the fact that the economy is going through a lull as well, does that have anything to do with the compliance issues?
Well, I think the fact the latest number that we saw the dip in those tax collections is a result of the fact that the economy is slowing down, and I think that's very real. So it will take longer than we thought for tax rates to go up. But I think the issue of compliance is different. The issue of compliance is that in the beginning, for example, the tax system itself couldn't take that load of the number of invoices. There was some problem with the way the thing was designed, and which is why you had a Nandan Nilekani committee, you had a Sushil Kumar Modi committee and things like that. I think what happened is that after all these committees came and they made their recommendations, we haven't moved fast enough for whatever reason, either political economy or whatever. So for example, Initially what happens is that people file their returns and the government or the tax authorities accept their word for it. So I say that this is what I sold to you, you say this is what I sold to Abhinav, this is what he sold to Mr. Tripathi, this is what our revenue, then they just go with what you say. At the end of the year, actually, we need to give an annual statement which reconciles everything. Now that annual statement for the year FY18, so for the year ended March 31st, 2018, that annual statement was supposed to be filed initially by December 2018. Now the date for that right now is November 2019. So that's how far back we are. So I think the government also needs to start putting, certain pressure and say that, listen, you have to file these returns by a certain date. I think in order for the system to be palatable, in order for people not to feel pressure that we are having to, put all these invoices up, we've also been a little, easy, if you will, with asking people to file their returns on time. And perhaps it was justified. I remember, the late Mr. Jaitley used to keep saying that, when you're introducing a tax which is as momentous a change as this one, you need to go slow. So maybe you and I would have liked this thing to have been completed in 6 months. So the political views, if that process takes a year or two, it's okay, it doesn't matter, because we are changing the face of India's tax structure. So that's a possibility. But I'm saying because of the fact that we have not forced people to file their returns on time, that has also been a reason for the delay or the reason for the lower compliance than what we would have liked.
Okay. Mr. Tripathi, the committee is supposed to look into various things. Now, one of them, of course, is trying to increase voluntary compliance. Another one is, of course, to plug the leakages. What role do you see the committee playing as a whole, and how constructive can the committee be?
You see, the task becomes more difficult because all the states are involved, and different states may have different views. Some states are more industrialized, more urbanized. Some states are not so industrialized, urbanized. They will have a different view. So some states may feel that there would be elasticity of demand. If the tax rates go down, the total collection may not go down, the demand will increase. Some states may think that there is no elasticity. So it is a difficult exercise to get all states on board and have them accept a single principle. But I suppose there is a goodwill there, and most states have governments run by the party which is in power in central government. Therefore, perhaps the majority will be able to accept whatever proposition is put up to them. But at this point of time, when the economy is slowing and tax revenue is going down, they will all be defensive. So the risk taking ability will not be there. And therefore, I think, although I have been for the last 2 years recommending that tax on petroleum products should be brought down and petroleum products should be brought under GST, but this is a time when for 6 months I think there will be no harm if the cess on petroleum products is raised, so as to give confidence to them to be able to take risk and reduce some taxes and some other items which will go a long way in spurring demand, both for production and consumption of those items.
Abhinav, as a people, over the years, we move towards tax avoidance or tax evasion. How do we change that? How do we ensure that more people actually come under the tax bracket and we expand the base as a whole? Is that going to be a challenging task?
Yes, I mean, you are right that we are not used to paying taxes. Especially you look at the textile industry, which is a very large industry. De facto, there was no taxation in the industry. Now they have to pay the GST. That will take some time, to draw in these people inside the system. But there are other problems as well. You have to make the system far more simpler. As of now in the GST, you do have the problem of the refunds. The refunds are not coming on time, and the people's money, the working capital is simply getting stuck in the endless process of, file moving and other things. Second point is that the tax return cycle is not synchronized with the traditional payment cycle in the market. Let's say in the textile industry, the payment cycle is of the 6 month, that I sold you something, I raised the receipt, but the payment will come to me in the 6 month. But I have to pay the GST now, and I have to file a return within 3 months, every 3 months, depending upon what is your turnover. That leads to, for the common businessman, that leads to problem, because he just can't deal with the entire process because he has no money to pay the taxes as early as possible. The other point is that these forms are too complicated for the common businessman. So they try to avoid it because they say that, well, if we filled up the form and they do not get reconciled, they say GSTR 9, 1, 3, whatever, so they will be in trouble because they will have to explain it to tax authorities, and they say, well, we don't want to take the risk, so it's better to keep evading your taxes as much as you can. So I think once we simplify the process and once we make the penalty very clear, not for the human errors, not for the lack of the infrastructure or the human capacity, but for the deliberate evasion of the taxes, I think slowly over the period of few years, we are going to draw in the people in the tax net. But that is going to take time. So we can't force it.
Can we safely dismiss this as initial teething problems?
No, I don't say these are initial teething problems. I think these are structural problems in how the society has been functioning so far. So any structural change takes some time. So it's okay to start with making the laws, rules and regulations, but give some time to adjust. Don't be too harsh on the people from the beginning itself, because what is happening at the moment, the bureaucracy is back to its old role. So the tax collectors are, again doing the old tricks and all. That is also creating lots of problem, and that is scaring away the businessman.
Right. So Sunil Jain, another issue, of course, is the issue of leakages, and the restaurants are a classic example of this. How do we plug that?
Well, you see, just to respond to a point that was made earlier on about the fact that because you've got so many states, the state governments may not be that keen to act together. I mean, act in concert and act quickly. I think the fact that the point that I made to begin with, the fact that the compensation cess is going to run out by December and the states will not be able to get the compensation they are promised, I think will be a big reason for all of them to vote very quickly in the same direction. Keep in mind that for the last 2 years, the GST or more that the GST Council has been in place, it has always acted unanimously. So you've had individual state finance ministers like Amit Mitra, for example, in West Bengal. They've come out before television cameras and they've expressed their concern about something, but when they're in the meeting, they all vote the same way. So I'm quite optimistic actually that states will come around very quickly to what we need. I think the issue of leakages is twofold. One, as I said, the government of India, or rather the GST Council, very clearly needs to start enforcing its rules, saying that by this date I want these returns to be filed. I think the fact that you've got e-way bills, the fact that you also simplified rules, the point that you made about restaurants, we had very stupid rules. The rule said that if you are an air-conditioned restaurant, you paid one GST. If you're a non-air-conditioned restaurant, you paid a different GST. Those are the socialist kind of differences we made. Now that we've got rid of that, now if you're a restaurant, if you're a hotel, you'll pay one rate. The fact that when you move towards a single rate, when you move towards a narrower band between rates, I think then the kind of tax theft in itself reduces.
Okay, so here we have a situation, Mr. Tripathi. Mr. Prakash is talking about, Professor Prakash is talking about how we need, to give some leeway. Maybe you don't have to deal with certain sections of the society, don't have to go after them with a stick. And here you have Mr. Jain suggesting that we need to enforce the rules and be a little strict. So how would you look at this, these two point of views?
It will take a little time, but the way I look at it and the experience that we have had so far is that we had similar experience in income tax also. You simplify first, simplify rules, simplify the forms also, and have simplification in the tax rates also, and then you cross check, because what one is selling goes to another person, it goes as input to another person unless it gets consumed. Those are different types of things, but by and large most items are such that it gets taken up by another person. So cross check. Similarly in income tax they have started cross checking. So by cross checking, by using technology, by being more alert in using digital technology and cross checking, making the person realize that he is either cheating or he has made a mistake, then initially telling him, taking it as a mistake, and when it becomes frequent, more than 2 or 3 times, then it is cheating, coming down heavily. So I think people will fall in line. I have seen income tax now, more people are getting accustomed to it, and they find that even the refunds are coming up quickly. GST refunds are not coming. In fact, the exporters had lots of problems in the beginning. Even now they continue to have problems. So GST needs simplification.
Okay, GST needs simplification is what you're suggesting. All right, so that's one way going forward. But talking about going forward in the immediate near future, Abhinav, what are the steps that we can take where we can see results in the short term?
Well, first of all, as Mr. Tripathi was talking about, that you need to ensure that the refunds are credited as quickly as possible. Let's say if the refunds don't go back or refunds are not credited within 20 days, perhaps you can say there will be automatic refund. You do not need to wait for the signature of the officer, because in many cases what is happening is that lots of other dirty tricks are being played, that you have to pay a bribe something to make sure that you get the credit. That needs to be tackled immediately. The other point is that, which I will say, make the form simpler. Please make the form simpler. That businessmen are really scared that if their form 9 is not matching up with the form 3 or form 1, and most of these columns are auto populated, they have no way to change it, and they are very scared about how do I file it, because then I have to answer to the tax person, and that is going to lead to other problems. So simplification of the forms and making sure that the refunds are credited as quickly as possible in a time bound manner, I think that will be two great reforms which can be done immediately.
Right. Sunil Jain, in the long term, what needs to be done? Because let's not forget, this is a work in progress. It's something that is going to keep evolving. And we've seen the GST evolve over the last 2 years as well. So we need to have a long term picture in our mind as well. What needs to be done when we look at it 5 years down the line?
Well, I think Mr. Tripathi is absolutely right. You've got to use technology, and you've got to tell people that, listen, you've made this mistake. So, you and I may believe, or the taxman may believe it's theft, but you've got to tell the person maybe it's a mistake. So you've got to give him a chance or her a chance to actually correct their mistake. I think that is the way to go. In the long run, also the role of technology has to be very, very high. It has to be analyzing data. So we have, I as a supplier, I can be, uploading 100 invoices per day. Now then, so if let's say I have an invoice that says that I sold you 200 crores worth of goods, when you file your returns, and if your returns say that I just have a turnover of 100 crore rupees, somebody should say, hey, Sunil Jain's returns invoice shows that he sold you 200 crores. Mr. Abhinav's returns show that he sold you 200 crores. How are you showing a return of 100 crores? So we need, this is a point that Mr. Tripathi made, that there has to be a lot more invoice matching and using of intelligence. I think that is absolutely critical for this thing. I stick to the fact that we need to have 2 to 3 rates. A 0 rate is a bad idea. We need to have the rates need to be moved up very, very quickly. I think the other point that we need to know is that that we need to figure out that we need the system to be more responsive. Abhinav talked about, Mr. Tripathi also talked about the fact that the returns are very complicated. The returns being complicated is something I've been hearing since the system began. We've had 2-3 committees looking at this. If it's going to take that long to change the return, then when you change the return, you got to give it to TCS or Infosys. They will have to recode it. It takes forever. I think that part needs to be really fastened, and once that happens, then I think we're home.
Okay, all right. And Mr. Tripathi, if you look at the GST, about 45% of the GDP, I think, is out of the ambit of the GST. So eventually, do we need to move in a direction where we have everything under the basket of the GST?
I think that should be our objective, and therefore I agree with him that we should move away from 0 tax rate, and also the items which are not under GST. Eventually everything should come under GST.
But are the states going to let go of the revenue that they're going to get from here?
Over a period of time, if we are able to compensate them, and we are able to, they believe what we say, that we'll take care of their fiscal needs, then I think they will come around, and eventually through GST the total revenue will also increase. If we have simplification, if we have all items coming under GST, if we have only a few rates of GST, and the forms are simplified, people are not scared, people come under the ambit of GST, then as the economy grows, the GST will grow even faster.
Okay, all right. Time now to get closing comments from all my guests very briefly with the best way forward and what needs to be done. Abhinav Prakash?
Well, see, the basic logic behind the GST was that you have a simplified tax regime, a low tax regime, which is going to increase the economic activities, and the tax collections will go up in the long run. So I think we need to focus on the core logic behind the GST, have a simplified and a single or double or triple rate GST, so that economic activities become easier to conduct in this country.
Okay, all right, Sunil Jain.
Get your technology right, increase the rates at the lower end and reduce the rates at the top end, and I think that's really what you want.
Okay, and Mr. Tripathi, close the show for us with your concluding remarks.
I agree. Eventually bring all items of production, whether goods or services, under GST, have simplified rates, have simplified forms, have simplified procedures, so that people develop faith in the tax administration develops confidence in the people, and the economy will grow, GST will also grow.
Okay, all right. On that note, then we'll call it a wrap on this edition of The Big Picture. Thank you to all my guests for joining me on the program and putting things into perspective for us. I think in unison, the panelists have all decided that we need to simplify the goods and services tax regime and ensure that we move towards probably only 2 or 3 slabs in the near future. And also, the use of technology is the best way forward. That is a wrap from me. That's it. See you again next time.